Here we go, game one of the American League Championship Series. The Royals are home field in this game, but the Brewers have home field advantage throughout because they scored a few more runs than Kansas City did in the first divisional series. So in this game, we're going to have the Brewers, the away team, the Royals, the home team. Paul Molitor leading off against Larry Gura. 1-9, grounds it hard at George Brett over to Pete Lecoq for out number 1. Six to Lezcano, right fielder, facing Gura. 6-5 off Gura's card, fly ball to center field. Amos Otis camps underneath it, and he brings it in. That's out number 2. Cecil Cooper, first baseman. Larry Gura, 2-5. Fat single split on top there for Cooper, so he's going to be on first. 2 down, top of the first. Ben Ogilvie comes up to the plate, facing Larry Gura. Cooper on first. And that is a 6-2 off Gura's card. Ground ball back to the box. He fields it cleanly over to Lecoq for out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the first. So Willie Wilson's going to lead things off for the Royals, facing Jim Slayton and the Brewers. 1-7 hits a ground ball at Bando over to Cecil Cooper for out number 1. Sal Bando was all over that one, no problem at all. Amos Otis, center fielder, coming up. 1 away, Slayton on the mound. Here's the pitch, 4-6 off his own card, ground shortstop X. Yount is not fielding at a 6, that's his position. He's fielding at a 2, looking for a 12. And that's going to be out number 2 of the inning. Fields it cleanly over to Cooper. So the old 6-3. Otis goes down. 2 away. George Brett is up. That 3 column's looking nice. 1-7. 2-star single. Brett's on base. Brings up Darrell Porter. Here's the pitch from Slayton. And the catcher draws a walk. Darrell Porter files in line right behind Brett. A minute first and second. 2 outs. Bottom of the first. Going to bring up DH Hal McRae. 5-8. Yes. And that is a fly ball to left field. Ben Ogilvie underneath it. Smacks his glove a couple of times. Brings it in for out number 3, scoreless after 1. Top of the second, and Gorman Thomas, center fielder, leading it off, batting 5th in the order. Pitch from Gura, 4-4 off his own card. Ground ball third base X. Brett is playing at a 3, looking at a 3, and it gets through to left field. Willie Wilson fields it, brings it back to the infield, but Thomas is on first. Second base hit, given up by Larry Gura. Leadoff single, top of the second. Charlie Moore, catcher, comes up. Pitch from Gura, 5-7. Ground ball, second base X. White's fielding at a 1, gets a 20. Roll it again. 4 that time, and that is out 3. Completion of a double play. Flips it over to Washington. UL gets it over to Pete Lecoq for out number 2. They double up on Thomas. 4-6-3. So 2 outs. Shortstop Robin Yount. Facing Larry Gura. 3-5 off Yount's card. Skinny single split missed. Lines it hard at George Brett. He just snags it out of the air like he was getting a corn dog, ladies and gentlemen. And that is out number 3. We go to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless. So Al Cohen's right fielder is leading off for the Royals. Facing Jim Slayton. 2-6 off Cohen's card. Fat single split catches it. So leadoff single for the Royals. Frank White comes to the plate. Cohen's not a threat to steal. They're not going to worry about holding him. The pitch to White from Slayton. 5-4 off Slayton's card. Fly ball center field X. Thomas fields at a 1. 16 on the big old D20. And that is Snagged easily by Thomas in center field. It's not a deep hit, so Cohens is going to hold at first. One away. Brings up Pete Lecoq, first baseman. Cohens on first. Slayton on the mound. 6-10. Fly ball to center field. Gorman Thomas is underneath it. He makes the catch. Yeah, close enough to second that Cohens isn't going to try it. 2 outs in a row by Gorman Thomas. Brings up shortstop UL Washington. Get the cards organized. Facing Slayton. Cohens at first. 2-7. Ground ball to shortstop. Yount makes easy work of that. Flips it over to Cecil Cooper. It's a 6-3. Out number 3. Tied at 0. Going to the third. Right to the action. Sal Bando leading off the inning against Gura. Third baseman. 2-6 off his own card. Draws a walk. Leadoff man on first, second inning in a row, brings up DH Donnie Money. Show me the money. 2-11 off his own card, snaps a hard ground ball at UL Washington. He gets it over to White, relays it over to Lecoq, and that is 2 away. Money, he limped into first base on that one. They weren't going to have a problem catching him. Looks like he pulled something. That's going to be 2 outs. Yep, 2 outs. Bando's not on base. Paul Molitor. They're going to get Money looked at. He may have to be out of the game. We'll find out here. Molitor. 2-3. Draws a walk. Gura gives him the pass. 2 outs. Sixto Lezcano. 1-5. Fly ball to center field. Otis camps out underneath it. That is out number 3. Scoreless going to the bottom of the third. Which brings the Royals back to the top of their order. Willie Wilson leading off. 2-7 off his own card. That's a straight up single. So Willie Wilson on first. For all the good it'll do, they're going to hold him. 117 to a 115, and he just makes it in under the tag. Wilson gets to second base. No outs. Amos Otis is up. Wilson takes a little lead. 3-8, and Otis goes down swinging. Out number 1. Yeah, I know, it would have been a good time to bunt, but I felt good with Otis. George Brett, he ain't going to bunt with that 3 column. But when he rolls a 5 column for a 5-7 and goes down swinging 2 Ks in a row for Jim Slayton, you kind of wonder your managerial strategies. Darrell Porter, coming up. He's going to bunt him over. Not with 2 outs, dummy. Porter against Slayton. 1-5, fly ball to center field. Gorman Thomas back to the track. He catches up to it, and that is out number 3. Royals had a chance, but we are scoreless after 3. And Don Money has a slight sprain, so he's not going to be back for this game. Wonder who they're going to put in his place. We'll find out later. Cecil Cooper leading off the action against Gura. Top of the 4th, 5-7 off Gura's card. Second base X. That's White fielding at a 1 with an 11. And that is out number 1. Fields it cleanly over to Lecoq. And Cooper goes down. Old routine ground ball to Frank White. Ben Ogilvy comes up, second batter of the inning, 1 away, facing Gura. 1-8. Pops it up behind second base. Frank White trails back, drifting into shallow right, makes the play. So that is 2 down in this pitcher's duel that is evolving here. Gorman Thomas. 5-8. Pops it up behind first, Pete Lecoq. Doesn't have to go far, and he watches it into the mitt for out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the 4th with Goose Eggs. And Hal McRae leading off the action, DH for the Royals, facing Slayton. Jim Slayton's pitch 2-9. And Hal McRae opens up with a double. Second inning in a row. Leadoff man has been on second before the following batter has swung a bat. Al Cohen's facing Slayton. 2-5. 2-star single. Cohen's draws first blood. McCray makes it around. So that is 1 run on the board for the Royals in the bottom of the 4th. Al Cohens is on first. Frank White to the plate. 1-5, and White hits a double. That'll send Cohens around to third, and they send him around third. He's going for home, and he makes it. 1-5. That was a double for White. RBI double. Cohens scores. Royals 2-0. Pete Lecoq comes to the plate. Jim Slayton on the mound. 5-9. Pop up behind shortstop. Robin Yount traces over to the center of the field, and it is out number 1. Brings up UL Washington shortstop, his counterpart, Jim Slayton. Pitching to Washington, 6-3, fly ball left field X. Ogilvie is a 4. Sorry, that was a 17. 4-17. And that is an out. Ogilvie gets underneath it, but it allows White to advance to third. It was deep to the warning track. Out number 2, Frank White, standing 90 feet away. Willie Wilson. 1-9, fly ball to left field. Ogilvie gets underneath it and makes his second play in a row. Out number 3. Royals score 2. Charlie Moore, catcher, leading off against Gura. Top of the 5th. 4-8. Catches the high triple split. Charlie Moore into third. Brewers looking to get right back in this game. Robin Yount. And Yount lays down the squeeze. 7. Batter pops out. Batter pops out. Porter got underneath it. So that is out number 1. Brewers tried to make it happen. What would he have gotten anyway? A 6-7 walk. Yeah. Sal Bando. Sal Bando, third baseman. Facing Gura. Moore on third. 3-6. And Sal Bando hits a single. And that's enough to bring Moore home, rather. So that is 1 run on the board for the Brewers. 2-1 ball game. Bando on first, and it looks like Dick Davis is going to come out of the dugout to designate hit. So yeah, definitely Money is going to rest up for the evening, be ready for tomorrow night's game. Dick Davis. 5-8, pops out behind first. Pete Lecoq. Frank White converging. Lecoq calls him off. That is out number 2. So we go back to the top of the order with Bando standing on first. Paul Molitor. He grounded to third and drew a walk his first 2 times of the play. 5-8, pops out behind first. Lecoq gets underneath that one again. And that is out number 3, but not before the Brew Crew plates a run. So the Royals, bottom of the 5th, facing Slayton. Amos Otis, 5-8 off Slayton's card. Fly ball to left field. Ben Ogilvie gets underneath it, and he tracks it down, brings it in for out number 1. Third baseman George Brett comes to the plate. He'll bat .390 next year, but not this year. .329, still not shabby. 1-7, and that's a single for Brett. He gets on base. That's his second hit of the game. Who's on first? George Brett. Daryl Porter at the plate. Slayton's pitch, 5-3, ground ball back to the box. He's fielding at a 2, looking at a 4. That is out number 1. He cannot check Otis, so Otis makes it, or Brett makes it to second, rather. But definitely a time to make the play over to Lecoq. So 2 outs. Brett now on second base in scoring position. Hal McCray at the plate. 1-8, and McCray draws a walk. Files in line right behind Brett. Men at first and second, 2 away. Al Cohens comes to the plate. Right fielder facing Jim Slayton. Bottom of the fifth. 6-9. Pops it up. No, hits a scalding shot at Robin Yount, and he just sticks his glove up and he grabs it. So nothing going for the Royals in the bottom of the inning. We go to the top of the sixth. Your score: Kansas City Royals 2, Milwaukee Brewers 1. Go to the top of the sixth inning. Larry Gurra still on the mound, going strong for the Royals. Sixto Lezcano, second batter in the order, third time through for the Brewers. 110 off his own card, hits a hard ground ball at Brett. He drops it, picks it up, rifles it over to Lecoq, beats Lezcano onto the bag by a step. Lezcano's a little slow. If that had been anybody else, may not have gotten that. But great heads-up play by George Brett. Out number 1. And brings up first baseman Cecil Cooper. Gurra's pitch, 310 off Cooper's card, ground ball to second base. Frank White gloves it over to Pete Lecoq. Routine ground ball there, out number 2. Ben Ogilvy comes to the plate, left fielder, facing Gurra. 2-4 off Ogilvy's card, back to the box, and Gurra, he snags it, throws it over to Lecoq for out number 3. So 3 putouts at first base, 3 ground balls, and we go to the bottom of the sixth. KC up by 1. And Frank White's going to lead things off in the bottom of the bracket for the Royals. 110, the pitch from Slayton, lines it hard at Sal Bando, and Bando gets his glove all over it. Flips it around the horn. Out number 1, first baseman Pete Lecoq comes to the plate. Big home run in a game in the first series against the California Angels. 4-8, Slayton's card, and Lecoq gets a single. Royals with the man on, bottom of the sixth, 1 out, 1 run lead. UL Washington, shortstop, bottom of the order, facing Slayton, 1-6, and hits a towering pop-up behind first base. Cecil Cooper gets underneath it, makes the play easily and cleanly. So 2 away, Lecoq at first brings up Willie Wilson. Center fielder extraordinaire, left fielder extraordinaire, well, center too, and right. Jack of all stations, a master of a few of them. 210, catches the fat single split on the bottom, 2 stars. That's going to send Lecoq to third. And with 2 outs, the Royals with men at the corners, poised to maybe tack on an insurance run here. Amos Otis comes up. 111, pop up behind second base. Paul Molitor traces back. He gets underneath it. Makes the easy play. Royals threaten bottom of the sixth, but nothing going. And as we go into the top of the seventh, it's a 2-1 ball game. Larry Gurra still on the mound for the Royals, pitching a good game. So is Jim Slayton, for that matter. Gorman Thomas, center fielder, 1-6 off his card, and Gurra catches him swinging at cheese on the outside corner. That's out number 1. Catcher Charlie Moore trots out to the plate, exchanges words with Darrell Porter. Couple of catchers chewing the fat behind the plate. Here comes the signal from the umpire. Play ball. Gurra's pitch. 4-7 off his own card, and catches Moore swinging at cheese. Strikeout number 2 of the inning. Out number 2 of the inning brings up shortstop Robin Yount. Top of the seventh. 5-9 off Gurra's card, and misses the skinny homer split, but he does pull off a double. So Robin Yount. Oh, I said Yount. I started out saying Yount, then I heard someone say Yount. Robin, that guy. Sal Bando. 6-10. Misses the skinny double by 1. Gets a single, 2 stars, but Robin Yount comes in to score. Second RBI single in a row for Bando. And the Brew Crew, top of the seventh, tie it up with 2 outs. 2 runs per team. Dick Davis' second trip. 5-7 off Gurra's card. Ground to second. White is fielding at a 1. Looking for a 3. And that's an easy ground ball for Frank White. He gets it over to Pete Lecoq. Out number 3. But the Royals do play to run. After 6.5 innings, it's 2-2, and you know what that means. Oh, sorry. At the old ball game. Yeah, I know. I'll bet you were going to be disappointed. George Brett leading off bottom of the 7th. Slayton's pitch, 4-7 off his own card, and Brett gets a single, his 3rd base hit of the game. George Brett's doing well, but he's a one-man show. He's not being involved in any runs being generated. That's all right. One of these times he will. Darryl Porter, catcher, cleanup batter. 3-11 off his own card, fly ball to right field. Sixto Lezcano tracking into the infield, gets underneath it, and he makes the play, no problem. Brett's going to hold it first. So that is out number 1. Hal McRae looking to knock Brett around a base or 2 or more. Slayton with the pitch, 4-4 off his own card, and that is a single. Brett 115 is going to go for 3rd. Being signaled around, and no, he is thrown out. He took a chance against Ogilvy, and Ogilvy made the great laser throw from outfield. Royals took a chance to make something happen for that go-ahead run, but we got 2 down. And heart of the order isn't doing it for Kansas City. Cohen's up. McRae on first. Pitch from Slayton is a 4-10, ground to 3rd X. Bando is not a 5, that's his position. He's a 2. Sal Bando fielding a 2, looking for a 9, and that is out number 3. Gets it over to Cecil Cooper, no problem. So after 7, tied at 2. Is off top of the 8th against Gura. 6-11 fly to right. Cohen's is fielding at a 2. That's a 1, and that is out number 1. Cohen's gets underneath it, bags it easily. So Molitor out. 9. First out top of the 8th, Sixto Lezcano comes up to the plate. 6-8. And hits the fat line out to second, split on the bottom. Frank White just zeroes right in on that one. Ball and glove, out number 2. Good defensive play on the right side of the field there. Cecil Cooper comes up. 2 away, 3-9 off his own card, and Gura gets him swinging for out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Second baseman Frank White's going to lead it off for the Royals. 6-8. Jim Slayton's card pops it up behind second. Paul Molitor makes the play easily. Out number 1. First baseman Pete Lecoq comes to the plate, batting 8th in the order. Both pitchers going deep into this game. 3-4 hits a hard ground ball to Cecil Cooper. He fields it and trots it back over to first. Just beats Lecoq to the bag. Out number 2, unassisted put out. UL Washington shortstop. That is 1-7 off his own card. Pop out behind third. Sal Bando gets underneath it. That's 3 away, and we have a tie ball game going to the 9th inning. Larry Gura comes out. He's going to pitch the 9th. Ben Ogilvy up. Ogilvy with a 4-3 catcher's card X. Porter's fielding at a 2 with a 16. And wild pitch followed by foul out. Ogilvy pops it up. Porter back underneath it. And he makes the play. Out number 1. Center fielder Gorman Thomas comes to the plate for the Brewers. They need to make something happen. 6-6. Ground ball back to the box. Gura makes the throw over to Lecoq for out number 2, but he pulled something there. They're going to check him out. We'll be right back. Hobbles off the field, so they call into the bullpen to get Al Raboski out. So he's going to face Gorman Thomas with 2 out. 2 out, bottom, top of the 9th. No man on. Al Raboski, ground ball back to the box. He gets it over to Lecoq to the end of the inning, but he kind of looked like he tweaked himself up on that one a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. And that was Charlie Moore in that last at bat, not Gorman Thomas. And the distraction with the pitcher injury, I didn't change the card. Off the pitcher's card, doesn't matter, keeping it. Willie Wilson. Bottom of the ninth, lead off, 6-7 off Jim Slayton's card. That's ground to second X. Molitor fields at a 2 with a 6, and that is out number 1 for Willie Wilson. If we're going to extra innings, there's going to be a part 2, guys. Amos Otis, 4-5 off Slayton's card, and misses a single. Lines it hard at Cecil Cooper. He gets his glove all over it for out number 2. Brings up George Brett. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Never know. Is he going to get that 3 column? No. 2-3. He does draw a walk. It's his 4th time on base in 5 at bats. Darryl Porter coming up to face Jim Slayton. 3-8, and Porter draws a walk. And they're going to change pitchers. Brewers are going to call on Bill Castro out of the bullpen. Darryl Porter drew that walk, files in line behind Brett. Minute first and second, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Hal McRae looking to make some magic happen. 2-3 off his own card, hits a sharply hit ground ball to Paul Molitor, gets it over to Cooper for out number 3. So that's going to be the end of this video. After 9 innings, your score is 2-2, Kansas City and Milwaukee, and I know I don't have room even for the 10th. So we'll be back with part 2 of this video as soon as I record it.